Ladies and gentlemen, yes to everything. All right, and as you know, James, in Yes to Everything, it's my opportunity to ask you zany questions to which you would rather answer no, but you have to answer yes. So
Okay.
it's a critical thinking activity. And without further ado, let me get the 1 minute clock. You ready for your first question?
Not at all. Go ahead.
I know it's a kind of a weird feeling, right? When you're not used to this kind of thing.
It's
Just have fun. My advice is have fun with it. Really, you're a good talker. You'll do fine. First question. Was the invention of the internet a mistake? When you start talking, I'll start the clock.
Absolutely, it is a mistake. It has brought division. It has brought scams. It has brought loneliness. Despite all of its maybe good intentions, there's been so much negativity with personal perception and trying to keep up with the Joneses and fictionalized lives that we see on TV. Um, Different ways to steal money and identity from people. It has done none of the it has done some, but not enough of the good things that it was intended to do. So no, it's definitely not been a blessing to the world that I think it should have been, and we would be better off without it for sure. Sorry, a little short.
Not a problem. Um, yeah, it's kind of like it's a double-edged sword. I don't know if that's the right expression, but there's a lot of good that came out of the internet, and it feels like we're still in the wild west or the infancy of the internet. It feels like that it's still going to become something much better than what it is now. Do you
Yeah,
think
you're an
that's true?
optimist about it. It's always it's like anything else. It's not like anything else, but it is a tool, and good people will use it for good things, and bad people will use it for bad things, right?
But I think there's still room for regulation and ways of tweaking it that could make it a lot kind of less nefarious than it is right now. Because, I know over the last 10, 15 years, it's just been a free for all. And it's like there's the dark web, there's kids are being exposed to things like I remember watching Saddam Hussein getting hung to death on YouTube. I couldn't believe it. Same thing with Gaddafi being uh, uh, chained to a car and marched down the street, bloodied up, and people hitting him. I couldn't believe that I was watching that with my eyes on the internet.
Was that on the news though also? Could you see that on like the evening news?
Perhaps, but maybe that's one of the things the internet has done for better or for worse. And I want to think it's more for the better that it allowed people to become, I guess, independent journalists, independent witnesses, and not having to rely so much on the corporate media to give us information. Because now
Well,
we
I think
can we
that's a
can
problem more than a solution. I think Adnan spoke on that too, that sort of the citizen journalists, and this is sort of a larger problem of the internet, is that it's shortened our attention span. And the citizen journalists now, everyone thinks that they can do their own research and that they are experts in the field when clearly
I
we've
know,
had
but
problems with
but
that.
there are
Whatever
some
side
like
you fall on, there's issues with that.
but there's some organizations that take their job seriously as independent journalists. TYT comes to mind, my favorite independent news station, right? The Young Turks. But these guys, they do real journalism. And sometimes I feel like they're the last bastion of real journalism right now because you don't get that kind of fact checking, unbiased views from commercial media.
Yeah, you're right. There are some, but there are just so many others that are, you read a Twitter headline and then that's about the extent of what you know, right? So,
All right.
anyways,
You ready for round two?
yep.
Now, as you know, James Bond has
Mm.
been uh I guess it captured our imaginations when we were young. Gene Roddenberry's James Bond. My favorite one was this guy right here,
Gene
Roger
Roddenberry is
Moore.
Star Trek, by the way.
Also, okay, that'll hit the editing floor. Who was the? Oh, Ian Fleming. Ian Fleming.
Yeah, there you go.
Both
Yeah,
amazing. masterpieces.
Yes,
But yeah,
agreed.
Ian Fleming, my God, James Bond, the character. I don't know if this character was invented today. I don't think it would fly with all the political correctness and all of the wokeness. Or there's just no way this misogynist alpha male that goes around killing people and making love to every woman that he sees. I don't think this kind of character could be invented today and be successful, but it still is residually successful because they're still making new James Bonds. And
Hmm.
right now, the James Bond, the past few movies has been this guy, Daniel Craig. A lot of people say that's their favorite, but in any case, all of them have been white men, as you can see.
Hmm.
You ready for your question?
I think so. I'm
All
not sure
right.
what side it's falling on, but go ahead.
All right. Should the next James Bond be a woman?
Yes. I don't know what they're going to call her, Jamie Bond. I'm not sure, but yes, she should be a woman. Let's explore the other side of things. This is this what this does is it will create an atmosphere so that we can expand the character into different sides. We can explore what James Bond has always done has been a representation of a certain thing of that time. So he was a womanizer back then. He's more of a singular sort of capable guy now who was in love with a single woman. And now let's explore the other side of that as a representation of who we are. And that's, I think, the best of what fiction can do is show us who we are. And women have been underrepresented in this kind of a realm of the action star, of the woman who will save the day, who so let's explore that side and see what they come up with, see what it can uh, reveal about us as humans.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it certainly would open up new opportunities and possibilities for the writers. I think it could be great. Of course, there's going to be legions of people that will be dismayed by such a thought. All right, without further ado, round three. I know you, and I know this one will really be tough for you. And we've had this conversation,
Mm-hmm.
many times, and you're always on your side of the conversation. Today, I'm going to force you to take my side for one
Okay.
minute. And I want you to speak with conviction. I want you to convince the skeptical James that he's
Mm.
wrong. The question is it unnatural to not have children? Now, let's understand the question because it's a double negative. It is unnatural to not have children, which means we must have children. That is nature's design.
Yes, it is. And my choice has been not to have children. But I think we need children to perpetuate the species, of course, for all sorts of reasons. Even if you look at Japan, they are having a declining population. They need to have children. It's essential for so many reasons. The elderly are outnumbering the children being born. It's putting a strain on their taxation. Uh, the whole government system is reliant on bringing in new people to pay taxes and create wealth and create businesses. So it's anti-societal, it's anti-progress to not have children in some form or another. We need it. And whether that's through surrogates or any other method, we do need to keep having children because society depends on it. And we'll see what happens with declining populations, like in Japan, how that affects them.
Uh-huh. So how do you square this with your own personal life decisions?
Well, I'm a very selfish person, so
You know what bothers me the whole time that I keep telling you, I said, it's okay. Wait, really, I know many people are deciding not to have children in this world. And
Hmm.
we have enough people, like, let's face it, right? We have enough precious human resources in this world. But people like you, I always say, should have children just because you're such a great guy. People like
Oh,
you
thank
like would
you.
make a great father, and those kids would turn out great, and then we would have a great person in the world. So that's what gets me because we have people that should not be having children and they have like 23 children. And then we have someone like you that says, nah, I think I'll pass.
I don't know, man. It's such a personal choice, right? And some people don't have a choice about it. So
No, it's a public issue that you must discuss now.
No, you know, when I came into our relationship a little bit later, and I think if we were going to have children, it would have had to be sort of pretty
Yeah.
early in our relationship.
Yeah, no, no, I'm
And
not questioning your
I've never
choice.
been against it. Like for me, I've always felt like if I was with someone that like really wanted to be a parent, then I'd be, yeah, okay, you know, I could do that. But I've never had this burning desire to have children. Like some people, I know I have friends that were like, I want to get married, I want to have a kid, I want to be a father, you know, I want to be a mother, and that they've known that since they were little, and I've never really had that. So
Okay. Next.